Welcome to the Running Network Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
I'm Jenny McCafferty here for the Running Network and Michigan Runner TV, and we're with Professor Gordon Minty, who's one of the officials here at Indiana State University. And Gordon, you've been doing this for quite a while, and you've seen some changes in the technology.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It used to be real difficult, especially working the finishing line. People running into different chutes. We had to have several chutes set up. Well, actually, here we had about 5 or 6 chutes set up, and it was a problem getting them organized, getting the right people in the right chute, and then handing out tags. It was a pretty tough job.
Well, I can see why it would be tough because you have so many people who are so close together.
Absolutely. They were finishing far quicker than you can process them. So they had to back up. That's why we had to have different chutes. And the decision was when to close one chute, open another, and coordinate it so as you didn't have one group of chute finishers, officially or unofficially, be tagged before the other ones. So yeah, it was, in fact, that reminds me of a race once I ran as my freshman year. I'd just come off of NCAA championships, ran fairly well, and then we ran the NAIA championships, and I wasn't feeling very well, and I ran very poorly, and I ended up finishing about 100th, 101st or 102nd or something, but I was the first person in the second chute, so I got to walk right on through, so I figured I was the winner. So that doesn't happen anymore, though.
Well, that's kind of an interesting perspective on it, because the technology that really changed things that came along was the chip.
Right. That really helped a lot, and now they're advancing again. You know, the chip, they went in the shoes, both shoes, and that that eliminated the original job I had, which I think was one of the toughest what there was, and then it became one of the easiest jobs. I can now watch the race and enjoy it a lot more. And now I guess we're advancing to, well, we have advanced now where we don't even retrieve the chips. Now the runners just they're throwaway chips. So don't tell anybody, but they don't really need me much anymore.
The Chronotrack D-tag system has been a big improvement because you don't have to collect the chips. So
right, yeah. We just, the runners finish and they can wander off, and it's really helped a lot.
Well, you've been working with Galt Race Management and John Galt and Ann Galt, and they've been doing it here for, what, 9 years now?
Yeah. Well, I work with them. They show up, and we work, but we have completely different jobs, and we're not associated with each other. I just work for the university and for the cross-country team and that. But yeah, I've got to see John every year, and we used to race against each other, so it's fun to visit with John once a year. So.
Well, in fact, let's just say a little bit of a word about your own racing career, because you were a very famous runner in Michigan back in the day.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about one of the two, or maybe your favorite win overall.
Favorite win? Well, actually, it's I'm always reminded of the NCAA championships when I finish third when I come to this race, and I think this is what's terrific about this course. It's such a fair course. You've got such a long straightaway to begin with that, you know, if a person falls, they're not put at a tremendous disadvantage, and that's what happened to me at the NCAAs. I got tripped at the very beginning, and it was such a tight, congested course, and the first turn was only a quarter mile away. It made a big difference. I just lost a lot of ground, not from the fall so much, by trying to make up ground. Now here, I don't think that would be a problem. And also nowadays, we have recall starters. We never used to have those. Once, you know, if somebody fell, that's too bad. Now, if you fall within the first 50 yards, they recall the race. So there's been a lot of changes in terms of the way we organize cross-country too.
In fact, I think they did recall it last year, didn't they? One of the races.
Right, they did. They recalled it, and I think that's the right thing to do. We need a fair start. Now, once you get out on the course, then it's cross-country, and if you fall, you fall. So.
Well, one of the things that's becoming very evident, and in fact, I think it's new this year, is Terre Haute is cross-country town USA, and that's kind of a change, isn't it?
It's becoming that way. Gee, I wish I could claim a little credit for that, but it's just happened. I've been here, and John McNichols, the coach, he envisioned this. I came out here once with him because I used to work with the team. I came out once with him when we had the property, and he envisioned the course, and he was saying where he thought the things were going. I thought, this sounds good, sounds good. But I also thought to myself, well, it's a bit of a pie-in-the-sky dream here. But it's come to fruition. It's just terrific. And I just happen to live 5 miles away from one of the best cross-country course, at least in the nation, if not in the world.
Well, it was fun yesterday at the press conference hearing coaches from the East Coast and the West Coast talk about this being the best course and starting to think of it as Omaha is to baseball. Terre Haute and the Laverne Gibson cross-country course is kind of becoming the home of NCAA cross-country.
Yeah, and I think a lot has to do with our officials here. You know, everybody knows their job too. And it looks like it would be such an easy thing, you know, as a runner. I used to think it was such an easy, all you got to do is stand there and, you know, watch the people finish and make sure they finish in the right order. It gets pretty complicated, and for a national championship, you've got to do it right. And we've done it right. So, yeah, I'd like to see it keep coming back here, because it's done right.
Well, it came here first in 2002, skipped a year, and it's been here every year since, and I know it'll be here next year. So it looks like the well-oiled machine is well on its way.
Yeah, I think so. I think we could do it every year, whether they'd want it. And, you know, it seems to me it would help out budget-wise. If everybody knew going into the year what the budget would be, they knew if they made it to the Nationals, they could go to the Nationals. So it's a central location around the country, too.
Well, it certainly is, and we have to say congratulations on what a great meet it's been today, and we look forward to more great meets in the future. Thank you very much for talking with us.
Okay, and hopefully those great meets will be here.
We think so, too.
Bye.
All right, thanks.